G'day Silkie Squad, Marcus here, bringing you a bit of an unusual video. Today I'm going to be showing you exactly how we edit our gaming buddy moments montages. Whether you're a complete beginner wanting to give editing a shot or you've already got a YouTube channel and want to improve your content, I believe this video will help you. I'll be going through the process step by step, teaching you how to use the editing software, some subtle techniques that you should be aware of to make your videos more comedic. We'll also try and educate you on some of the common mistakes that people make. Just before we get started, a quick side note, some of you may be coming from this video that we uploaded a couple of days ago, in which we explained how you can get your video shouted out on the Silkie channel. If you're hoping to be featured in one of our community spotlight episodes, make sure you pay very close attention during this tutorial because these are the things we'll be looking for. So the software I'll be using today is Filmora 9 by Wondershare. Filmora was my personal very first editing software. I used it to start the Silkie channel all those years ago. It's very dear to my heart. It's available for Mac and PC. It's very beginner friendly, and after watching this video, if you're interested in trying it out, click the Filmora link in the description. It'll send you to this website where you can pick up your copy completely free and try it out yourself. Wondershare were actually awesome enough to sponsor this video, so at the end, if you're interested, we'll be giving away a Filmora 9 Pro lifetime license, so make sure you check that out. Alright, so we're going to jump into Filmora right now, and let's give this a go. Basically, this is the Filmora interface. Obviously, if you're using a different editor, you can follow along with a different interface. Alright, so up here we have what we call our media pool, which is basically where we can import clips to, and this is where they'll be stored while we're not directly editing them. On the right, we have our preview window. Then we have below this, the timeline itself, which is where the actual editing takes place. And there's a few things we want to do before we start, just to customize this layout. First thing you're going to want to do, come over here on the right, turn on your audio meter. Next, I want you to come over here to the desktop with the gear icon, click on that, playback quality, and make sure it's on 1/2. It's going to make your computer run a lot less laggy. After that, let's go File, up in the top left, Project Settings. I'd recommend setting whatever media or video you're using. Try and set it to the same quality. Hit OK on that, and we can head over now to Preferences. So most of this is pretty generic stuff. What you do want to do is come down to Performance and check out Proxy, because Proxy, basically what this is going to do when you check it, it's going to create basically a shortcut of each file you're editing. So let's say, for example, you're editing a 5 megabit file that's quite large and it might slow up your computer if you haven't got a beast of a PC. You can check Proxy, and that's going to create a shortcut of that media, and you're going to be editing using that shortcut, which is going to make it a lot easier for your computer. And then once you render it, it's going to render using the full file, so you're not using losing any quality. So I really, really like this feature. So now we're pretty much ready to go. So we're going to hit this button right here, and we're going to import our media. Now Filmora is actually really cool because it has a high speed import. So if you're importing multiple clips, it handles it really well. So now we're almost ready to actually start editing. We've got our media in the media pool, and basically I'm just going to show you the actual tools and the way we're going to be editing it. So up in the top left, we have all these different tabs that have audio effects, titles, transitions, normal effects, elements, all that kind of thing. Those are great, but what we'll be using most is going to be these little tools down here. So this is undo, redo, delete, split, and just general options. You're also going to want to acquaint yourself with the timeline itself, so we can drag and do that to extend and whatever. You can also zoom in and out using the plus and minus. We're going to add some more video tracks. So I always like to edit with 2 video tracks. So to add another video track, you can see we've got one here. It's titled 1. Add a video track, got a new video track titled 2. Now we have 1 audio track. I like to edit with 3. 2 for effects, 1 for music. So we're going to add 2 more. Sweet, so we've got all of our tracks, and now we just want to add our audio in, media in, sorry. So to choose where you want to add it in, you're going to move the playhead to the selected area you want to add, select the timeline you wish to, the track, sorry, you want to add the media to on the timeline, and then hover over and click the plus. I'm going to click don't change, and there we go. So I like to start a little bit out from the beginning, just so I've got a little bit of room to work with if I want it. So we've got our media in, and basically what we're going to do now is we're just going to optimize it. So that, because at the moment we've got 4 individual pieces of media, we're going to try and make them a bit more similar so that it flows nicely. So first I'm going to just quickly come over here, right click and open adjust the track height, sorry. I'm going to change that to big. So the main thing we're going to actually look at is going to be audio. Because they're different clips, the audio is going to be a bit different, and we want it all to be the same because you don't want some parts of the video to be louder than others. But before we get into actually balancing the audio, try and fade in all these clips. So you fade in by grabbing this little knob and just dragging it. So obviously the further you drag, the bigger the fade. So I just like something small like this. So now when we transition from this clip, instead of being really abrupt and harsh, it's kind of like fades in nicely. We're going to use the mix audio meter over here, and we're going to go through and we're going to have a look and see where we peak at. So you'll actually be able to see on here the bar graph going up and down. And we want ours to be around about -7 to -5 decibels. And you can see the numbers on the left-hand side. So we're probably closer to -8 or so, so I might make this a little bit louder. Let's see where we go now. So I made that louder just then by grabbing this line, and you can drag it up and down. Alright, so that's pretty good. We're going to move on to the next clip then. And I can use this little bar just to drag along. And we're going to try and do the same thing. So we're going to try and normalize the audio so that all the clips are around the same volume. So if we go back and compare these two peaks, there's this one, where we hit around about there. And this one, where we're not hitting as high. So we probably want to make this a little bit louder as well. So next what we're going to do is we're going to go through each clip and basically come up with the idea for the clip that's going to make it funny. So the way I like to do that is I like to try and find the main event. The start of the event looks like it's going to be around here. So we don't need all this beginning part. So we can get rid of it in a few ways. First way we're going to try is we're going to just come over here, move our playhead over the part we want to cut. And it cuts the video track for us. So now you can see it's in two different parts, and we can then just hit backspace to delete, or we can right click and hit delete. So that's great, but when you're doing a lot of this kind of stuff, you want to try and find ways to speed up your editing. So what I like to do is I like to right click, and I like to come trim start to playhead. So this is the playhead, this is the start, so it's going to trim everything in between that. Bang, and you can see it all goes in one click as opposed to 3. Alright, so we've trimmed all our clips. Basically what we're going to do now is actually come up with the idea for the clip itself. So figure out the effect or the meme or whatever that's going to make this clip funny. For this one, I'm just going to come up with really generic things. I'm going to just do, this is getting out of hand now, there are 2 of them meme. I'm first going to hit M on my keyboard, and you'll see I'll add a little blue marker up here on the top, and then I'll hit M again, and I'll be able to actually type in, this is getting out of hand. So that's going to remind me when I come back here, I'm going to go through all of them and systematically choose the clip sound effect. Okay, so I've come up with my ideas, I've marked them out. Now I'm just going to quickly shrink down my tracks so that I've got a bit more room to work with. And now we're actually going to start adding the effects themselves. So I'm going to come back to this. Obviously I remember what it was because I just added it, but you could just hover over it. This is getting out of hand. Okay, yeah, I remember what that was. So I'm going to come up here and import that media. Okay, so I've imported the media. It's up here in my media library. Here we are, we've got the effect, but the problem is with this one, we've got video and we only want audio. So I'm going to come right click on the clip and I'm going to detach audio. There we go. All right, so now the audio is separate from the video. I can come up here and place my audio wherever I want to place it. Okay, so I've decided that this is where I want my effect to start. The problem is, well, we have 2 problems. One is you can't actually hear it. The second one is that the video actually ends before the clip, the effect ends. So we cut it too short when we were cutting it earlier. But that's okay, so I'm going to show you how to fix that. So we're going to zoom in. We're just going to grab the end of this clip. I'm just going to drag it until we hit the end. And it's going to snap to the end like so. The next thing we're going to do is this audio itself is too quiet. We're actually going to have to do 2 things to fix that. One is we're going to right click and adjust audio. So whenever you see one of these menus coming up, it's me right clicking most of the time. I'm going to hit adjust audio and I'm just going to make it louder. I can also fade it in a little bit. I might fade it in just a tad. So I can make it louder by moving this slider up over here. So you can kind of hear it. The problem is you still can't hear it that well. So what we're going to do is we don't want to make this much louder. So we're going to cut the clip above it, which is the main media, which is kind of the problem because we can't actually hear anything over it. And then we're going to grab this sound. So we're going to grab that blue line and just drag it down a bit. So I'm going to drag it down to -7 or so. So now you'll notice it's going to be normal volume all the way through, the same volume we equalized it to earlier. And then when the effect starts, it's going to go quiet.
This is getting out of hand. Now there are 2 of them.
That's a kind of cheating way to do it. With Wondershare, you can actually add keyframes to the audio, which are these little things, and you can adjust them like that. But I don't. Yeah, it works for me and it just saves me time, and I'm all for things that save me time. So we could have mucked around with that a little bit more, but I'm just going to move on because you've gotten the basic idea. Okay, so I've added my main sound effects. I haven't spent a lot of time doing it. I've just done it really quickly so we can show you basic principles. But you'll want to go in there and make sure the audio is right, make sure it's faded in a little bit and all that. So the next thing you can do is actually add some zooms and crops to speed up your, emphasize certain events in the clip. Over here, I'm going to show you an example of that. So I want this clip to zoom in when this effect starts playing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to right click on this. I'm going to hit crop. And I'm going to just drag this in. I'm going to make sure this is on original ratio and drag it in and then position it over. I'll just position it around about over the 2 Darth Vaders and then I can hit OK.
This is getting out of hand. Now there are 2 of them.
So you notice you can obviously play around with that and move it around and make it a bit nicer, but that's the basics of actually getting the zoom to work. Now with zooms, you want to time them to sounds or songs or sound effects in the video. It makes it so much nicer as opposed to just a random zoom or like an out of time zoom just feels really weird. It's so much more satisfying when you get a nice zoom to an effect. So once you've gone through and added your zooms, I'm not going to do that to my last 2 clips. I'm going to add what we call exaggerations. So exaggerations are those key little things that a lot of people don't notice, and this is really going to make your video stand out. Basically, you exaggerating certain events in the video. A great example of an exaggeration I'm going to show you is going to be this last clip. So I believe this stormtrooper pretty much punches Anakin Skywalker to death. So you notice the punching sound, you can kind of pick them out, but they weren't that comedic or slapstick. So what we're going to do is we're going to actually emphasize them. We're going to type for a smack sound effect. I'm going to add it right there, trim the start to get rid of all this emptiness that we don't need. Cool, and now I'm going to copy this so I can use it again. So the smack sound effect has been copied. All I need to do now is come over here and sync it with the smack or the punching in this clip. I'm going to use the arrow keys to switch between keyframes, or you can use these 2 buttons here. And every time I see a hit marker, I'm going to add a smack sound effect. Except this one seems like it's a bit out of time. I think he may have had a bit of lag. Anyway, so what I'll do instead then is when it looks like he would have made contact, which looks like about now, I'm going to put one of these smack sound effects. And I'm probably going to actually make this a little bit quieter. There we go, that's perfect. Okay, so I'm going to copy that again because I like that volume, and we're going to go find the next hit. Hits him again that way. Click on my timeline, hit M, and I've got a blue marker there now. I should have a blue marker. Oh, I've added it down here, whoops. Add it up there, cool. So I've got a blue marker on the next smack. I'm going to keep going through. There, looks like that would be another one there. So I'll hit M again. There we go, paste. So I'm going to line that up with this marker. You can see it snaps to it automatically, which is really nice. And now let's play this back and see what it's like with the exaggerations. So there you go. You see, you notice it just makes the event itself just stand out a bit more. It makes it a little bit more comedic, a little bit more slapstick, a little bit more out there, which is what we're after for Funny Moments videos. Obviously, you can do a whole lot more. You can exaggerate with gunshots. If someone's shooting someone, you can add a gunshot in. If someone's sliding, you can add a cartoon-like slide. If someone's falling, you can add one of those cartoon whistles. But for now, I'm sure you've got the gist. You don't want me to go through and add all those things, so we're going to move on. So next we're going to add overlays, or mainly text overlays and green screens. That's what we're going to look at for our videos. We need to credit people. So we're going to credit people using text, and the way we're going to do that is we're going to line the playhead up with the clip we want to add text to. I'm going to select the track that I want, which is going to be the one above our main track. And then I'm going to come up here and click text, and I'm just going to choose one that looks okay. I'm just going to add this one. Okay, so we've got a little bit of a nice effect in there. And now what we need to do though is position it, because it's not positioned in the right spot. So I'm going to come in here, I'm going to go show properties, I believe. Actually, I need to show properties first. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to name this the name of the person I'm crediting. So I actually like to name my clips the name of the clip submitter. So this guy is Stormtrooper. Saves me going back and having a look at it. So that's good. You can change font and all that there, but I'm not going to bother. And now what I want to do is I'm going to come down, right click again and go advanced edit, and I can actually move this. So I'm going to make this a little bit smaller. I'll put it in the top right hand corner. I could probably make it black just so it stands out a bit more. So let's have a look at this. And the credit comes in really nicely up there. There are a whole bunch of different texts and titles, so go for your life with all the different effects, or maybe just a standard one. The next thing I'm going to look for is green screens. So green screens are basically overlays that are moving. For example, our intro is a green screen. So I'm just going to import our intro actually, and I'll show you. So here's the green screen. I've dragged it over the top of the clip I want to add it to, but as you can see, I can't see the clip underneath it. It's kind of defeating the purpose. So what we're going to do is we're going to right click, and we're going to click on the green screen option. What I need to do now is I need to set what color the green screen is. So I'm just going to click on this eyedropper tool, and I'm going to select the color on the track like that. So now it comes up really nicely like that. It's overlaid over the clip. So with Filmora, it's great. I've actually had very, very little problems with the green screens themselves. As you can see, as the playhead moves over the green screen, there is no change to the clip at all. So the clip itself up in the top right hand side still looks the same. If you get a bad one, let's just change this so it's really obvious. Basically a bad green screen will look like this. So you notice that as soon as I switch onto the green screen, the whole screen color changes because the green screen hasn't been set properly. So if that happens to you, you can just adjust these, but most of the time Filmora is probably one of the best programs I've ever used. It does this really, really well. Let's have a look at this one more time.
Bye, have a great time.
Now the final thing we're going to want to do, add music, and music is so important. So we've got our music, and we've actually used a whole bunch of effects over here. So normally I'll have effects, and then music in the bottom track, but I'm actually going to need another track because separating everything makes it so much easier when you're editing. So I'm going to add an audio track, and I'm going to drag the music down into its own individual track. Let's have a listen. Wow, okay, so that's way too loud, so we're just going to grab this, bring it down. I normally like around -8 to -10, so let's try -8.45. I like that, I think that's good. And most people, once they've added background music, they're like, okay, I've done, and they move on. You need to actually go in there and adjust the music when clips are happening. So you literally pause for effect. And by pause, I mean cut. So I'm going to come in here, the effect is here. I'm going to play it with the music, and I'll show you what I mean.
This is getting out of hand. Now there are 2 of them.
So it doesn't really suit it because it kind of takes away a bit from the effect itself. So we're going to come into the music itself. We're going to split it, and we're going to move it, which is basically in effect going to pause the music. You can fade it in and out just to make the pause a little bit more gradual as well. So now if we listen to this.
This is getting out of hand. Now there are 2 of them.
And the music can resume back up. So I'm just going to have it actually resuming. A nice thing to do is actually merge it with the end of the clip when it's resuming. and then drag that out to the end of the clip. So it'll sound something like this.
This is getting out of hand. Now there are two of them.
And then it merges into the next clip. So that's basically how you add music. You want to generally pause it for main sound effects. Exaggerations, you don't have to pause it, but yeah, main sound effects definitely pause the music. That's something that a lot of people forget about. Next, what we're going to do, you've probably seen me doing this accidentally automatically, is hit Control S and save your project. You're probably going to want to do that before you do all this stuff. Just keep saving it throughout. But because this project's been pretty small, I haven't bothered. So next thing is the export. I need to make this video an actual video. I'm just going to drag the clips till they snap together. Drag the clips till they snap together. And now I'm going to drag the whole thing and put it back to the start. Now you don't necessarily have to do this. I like doing it though because then I can tell how long my video actually is. It is going to be around about 25 to 27 seconds. Hit export. Going to continue to use the free plan. I've been using the free plan at the moment, and I'm going to render the video to, you can choose where you want to render it. If you want to click here, test video. I'm happy with all these settings. Obviously I set them earlier, and yeah, the video is between 25 and 27. Like I said, it's 26. Hit export. Okay, so its video's done exporting. I'm going to hit find target, and it's going to take me exactly to the video where I can watch it.
This is getting out of hand. Now there are two of them.
Bye, have a great time.
So, obviously that was extremely rough, that was like terrible, but you get the idea. If you work on that and you just tune some of the things in there, these clips could actually be pretty funny. That's pretty much it. So awesome work for sticking with me. We're about to get onto the video, but I just want to say I'm proud of you, and I reckon you're going to create some awesome content. Let me know which tip you found most helpful down below. If you're interested in trying out Filmora 9, there's a link in the description that'll take you to their website where you can download their free plan and you get access to all the tools I just used, so you can decide if it's the right program for you. Also, if you already have a channel or you're looking into making a channel, I do have a YouTube channel that's dedicated to helping gaming channels grow. So if you're interested in learning how to actually grow your channel and market your videos, I'd highly recommend checking that out. So if you want to win a lifetime license to Filmora 9, you have to do the following. Create a little edit using 3 clips and make it as funny as possible using all the techniques I just showed you. If you don't already have a good editing program, go check out Filmora 9, the free version, and use that. It doesn't matter that there's an overlay. Then I want you to tweet us the link via Twitter. We'll be going through the little montages, finding our favorites, and if you're the creator of our favorite montage, you're going to be getting a lifetime license of Filmora 9 for free. We'll be announcing the giveaway winners in exactly 1 week from now. I can't wait to see what you guys came up with. Again, there's a link to Filmora 9 in the description, and I'd like to thank them once more for sponsoring this video and making this giveaway possible. But I'll see you in the next video.